So here we have X-Men Origins Wolverine, the newest film adaptation of the X-Men comic book franchise. And in this one, as you might imagine, we follow the story of Wolverine. So the movie starts off with James Logan, aka the Wolverine, and his brother Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth, fleeing from what is perhaps their hometown, and they basically stick together from then on. So they basically fight in most of the American wars that the average person would know happened. And I say average, I use it as a disparaging remark. And from that, James starts to see that his brother is, well, quite a militant fellow. Soon enough, Sabretooth's psychopathy gets him and his brother thrown in jail. After that, a government official named Stryker offers them a deal. He will grant them immunity in return for their induction into his special team. They take the deal, but soon after harsh violation of James's moral code, he leaves the team and his brother for a simpler life. However, just like his dreams, James's past comes back to haunt him when his brother kills his wife. From here, James is a one-man army who sets out to wrong those who have wronged him and get revenge for the death of his family, and we've seen this story so many times. Now, at this point, it's probably important that I tell you that both James and his brother have the ability to regenerate lost bone, tissue, and muscle, and can, perhaps, live forever. The movie doesn't really care to explain the parameters nor the origins of these amazing powers, so I can't quite be sure. One might expect to learn the origin of Wolverine's mutation from a movie entitled X-Men Origins Wolverine, but the movie doesn't feel the need to divulge such pertinent information. Wolverine's powers are extraordinary, but unfortunately the movie is not. Both the story and the action are laden with countless cliches. While Wolverine's tale is a grim one, you wouldn't be able to tell from his, nor any of the other characters' demeanor. Everyone in this movie either talks very archaically or in a slew of bad one-liners. It's pretty ridiculous. Now, one might say, hey, it's a summer blockbuster. The story doesn't matter as long as there's some good action and effects. Now, on the most basic levels of entertainment, I'd agree. But unfortunately, the action really isn't all that spectacular, and here's why. In the first few X-Men pictures, they didn't come right out and say, hey, this guy's destructible. They made it seem like he could be killed, so when he was on the top of the Statue of Liberty or something, you actually felt like some suspense, like, oh, is he gonna make it? But here, they kind of take every chance they get to tell you and show you that he can't be killed. The problem with this is that when it comes time for him to fight people, or the army or something, there's no sense of consequence. There's nothing interesting about watching two guys who can't die fight each other. It's just pointless. The other problem is one that can't really be blamed on the filmmakers, but I guess it's still worth mentioning. It has to do with how the action scenes are shot. When you have a scene involving like two people punching each other, you want to focus on the impact of the blows, or just who's hitting who. But since Mr. Jackman has knives on the ends of his hands, you can't really do this unless you're going to have an R-rated movie. Which I'm sure the studio would not allow because they would not make nearly as much money. So what results is really weird editing style where someone's like, well, Wolverine's about to punch someone, and they'll cut away and not show it and show something else. And it really doesn't make for a very exciting fight sequence. Why can't the movie be rated PG-13 if he just punches people with the blades and no blood comes out, and you see it? I mean, there's tons of action movies, thousands of action pictures, where the hero will gun down thousands of bad guys with gunfire, and as long as there's no blood, it gets slapped with the PG-13 rating. Now, not to condone either one, but if one, why not the other?